What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning back in for another guitar tutorial video. So today, instead of doing another song, I figured I would teach just a couple blues licks that I have in my arsenal that I can use at my disposal during improv solos or riffing when I'm playing chords. So I just wanted to share a couple of those with you. Not a whole bunch, because I don't want to give away all of my secrets, but just a couple. So first off, just like basic blues, we're going to start in E, and I just want to show the basic chugging riff of the blues, like this. Super basic. And all I'm doing there, I got my pointer finger barring the B and E, which would both be in your normal E chord. But instead of strumming the whole thing, I'm just strumming E, B, and E. Then what I'm doing is taking my ring finger and putting it on the C sharp. Just putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off. Keep going, back and forth, back and forth. And that's your blues right there. Now we're going to go up to A. Same idea, just barring the A and hitting that F sharp. Now here's where it gets different. Now that's a B chord right there. That's a B7. So your B7 chord would normally either be up here. Here's your normal B. Here's a B7, so I took my pinky off to give it the 7. Here's your normal B chord. Take that finger off, stop barring, put your pinky on, and just hit these two notes right here. So that would be F sharp and D sharp. Leave the B out of it. And so, since you're barring with this finger, you have an A right underneath it, which is going to make your B7 chord. Or what you can do, which is what I did, and this is something that you can really only do in E unless you have a capo going on. Going up chromatically from A sharp to B, leading into B with a chromatic line. Great thing to do in the blues. Another thing that I did when I went up to A, which using chromatic lines, is I did F sharp, G, G sharp, A. You know, you can do to really lead into the A, give you the feeling that you're going up, going up, going up. So there you go, you're on the A. Now we're on the B. And this chord, you got your B, which is normally in that chord, right there. Then D sharp, which I'm playing with my pointer finger. Take my ring finger, put it on the second fret of the G string. That's going to be my A, my 7th. Then leave that B string open, because it's a B, so why take it away? And put your pinky on the F sharp. And you got yourself a really spicy B7 chord. There you go. So all together we got up to the B. There you go. And now that was a shortened version of the blues. Most of them are a little longer, and you know the chords are held for a little longer. I just wanted to get the idea across right now. So now that we have that sort of down, another great thing to know when you're doing blues is to use the blues scale. So that is derived from sort of combining the major and minor scales. So first off, you have your major scale. And that goes more. So that's your major scale. Then you have your minor. You know. So the way to combine the two of them is to have your E, your 2, still nothing's changed. here's your F sharp, then your G, which looks like minor. Then we throw in G sharp. So we have 3 chromatic notes all right next to each other. So what we can do with that, right, something like that, or you know, anything like that. So that's just the first little part of the scale. We already got a whole bunch of stuff going on there. So E, F sharp, G, G sharp. Then we go A sharp, B, D, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, G sharp, then B. And I like to throw in C flat or B sharp here. Did I actually just call it C flat or B sharp? I'm so sorry. It's a C. There you go. So you got your C and then C sharp. All right. So you don't actually have to use that C in there, but it's used as a very good passing tone. It's not good to just outright throw it in there and just be like... Doesn't work. That just does not work because it's a really minor sounding note in a major feeling key. Because the blues does lean a little bit more to major unless the chords are minor. The blues definitely leans a bit more in major chord-wise. But the solo itself is going to be very, very minor. But this is sort of a pseudo, you know, changed blues scale. The real one is more along the lines of just... But I like to throw in a lot of other stuff. And we can use all that sort of stuff, all of those notes. So boom. And honestly, could even use the natural 7 in the keys natural 7 of E, so that would be D sharp. But in the blues, you're normally going to be using a D because your chords are going to be sevenths, for the most part. Sometimes it changes and you don't have a 7th chord, and you have to play by ear and sort of play to what the chord is telling you, right? Because you can't always just be throwing in whatever you want. You have to play to what the chord is telling you to do, or what the music is telling you to do. So, here is another little shape that I love to use all the time in blues. Very simple, and you can use this in all different keys. So, what I like to do is, if I'm in E, think about making a D shape, all right? So here's your D. Take out your ring finger. Take out the D. Now you're left with an A and an F sharp. And that is a 6th. The 6th is a royal interval in the blues. I mean, it's a very rich interval. Lots of people use it. So, here's what we're going to do. We got our E. Now go to that shape, F and A, F sharp and A. Take it up a half step. All right, now take it up another. And now we've reached G sharp and B, which are part of our E chord, right? Now, what's so important about that? We can use this to lead into E and give it some embellishment, all right? So here's a way you could use it. All right? So you can kind of stick with it and lead up and then go right back down. Or you can do a whole bunch of different things with that shape. But you have to make sure that you're in the right position, all right? Because if I go one more half step up, I'm going to be making a minor A chord, right? So that's not going to sound good, right? Because of that C sharp going down to a C, it doesn't sound very good. Now, one thing you can do to make this even more spicy, get back in that position and add in a 7th with your pointer finger, all right? So right below, 1 fret below where those 2 fingers are, add in on the B string. So, up a half step, up another. There you go, you're at E7 now. So, right? So you can use that in A as well, or B, or anything, as long as it fits and it's in the same key, you know? Because you can't just be doing it anywhere. You have to make sure that it's in the right spot using the sixth that's involved in the chord that you're using. So, for instance, for A, the sixth that I would be using here is C sharp and E. And like I said, for in the key of E, the sixth is B and G sharp. For B, it would be F sharp and D sharp, right? Okay, so it switches from every key, and you have to make sure you know which sixth you want to use in that key. So, a way you could use it, now, what you see that I did there is I took this chord shape, and I did in fact make it minor by doing that. But I did that as an embellishment. I knew what I was doing there. I didn't just do that, oops. I did that on purpose as a leading tone to get back to the E. Now what that's called, that's a minor playable cadence. We'll get into that way down the line. But that's just another way that you can use passing tones or chromatic passing tones to get to other chords. Now, let's see, what other blues licks can I show you? Let's go to A. There we go. So, one thing that I love to do, you have your A chord, bar from G, which is the seventh of A, C, and E. So you're basically making a C chord over top of A. Then what I do is hammer on the G string from C up to C sharp, which brings us to a diminished triad, but is inferred to be an A7 chord because we're playing in A. So it sounds like this. Right? Which, if I had it as just a regular A chord, and I included the A in there, sounds like that. Right? So that's a very bluesy lick right there. Using that minor third going to the major third. Now what you can do after that, go from A down to G. Alright, so you can do something like, right? So what I'm doing is C to C sharp, A to G, then I do a completely chromatic drop down from E, D sharp, D, and then I scoop up from C to C sharp, right? And then I use another sixth there, C sharp to A. So all together, right? It's a pretty neat lick. Now, what we can do is also go in the opposite direction. So what we did there is we went down. We went down a string, and then down another string. And then we could go down even another. What we'll do here is go up, all right? So we're gonna go then to the E, then hit our G here, all right? And we're gonna bend it up to an A. And then hit the A. So we could do okay, so that's a little lick right there. Or you could do it like that and not bend it. You could just really slide up from the G to the A. But the reason why I want to keep it here is because I want to bend to the C all the way up to a D, or a little bit below a D, a couple cents below a D. Getting into microtones here. Right? And then go back down to A. So, all together, right? There you go. So, now, I'm going to just play a little blues shuffle, and I'm going to try and use some of those ideas. All right, here we go. There you go. Now, I made a couple mistakes here and there, but all together, it utilizes those blues licks, and I didn't even use this one, but you can use... anything like that. So that is my basic lesson on blues and some basic riffs that I use that are pretty simple but really helpful in the basis and foundation of my blues knowledge. I hope this video helped you, and if you have any other recommendations, any tips that you could give me, or any requests, I would be happy to do them. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, enjoy the beautiful day that we have going on outside, and peace out.